2,000 years ago, a man named Seneca watched the richest, most powerful people in Rome live their entire lives and accomplish nothing. And he was furious about it. So he sat down and wrote one of the most brutal, most honest wake-up calls in human history. He called it On the Shortness of Life. And in it, he made an argument that will either change how you spend your time, or it will make you deeply uncomfortable. He said, "Life isn't short, it's wasted." And the worst part? His words are more true today than they were 2,000 years ago. In Seneca's time, Rome was at the height of its power. There were wealthy people everywhere, people with servants, with leisure time, with every resource they could possibly want. And yet Seneca noticed something that troubled him. Almost none of them were actually living. They were busy. They were distracted. They were chasing status and money and approval. They were caught in endless cycles of minor tasks that felt urgent but meant nothing. They had time, but they lived as if time was running out, always rushed, always stressed, always reacting. Sound familiar? Here's what Seneca realized. The problem wasn't that life was short. Objectively, if you live 70 years, that's 25 to 50 days. That's not short. That's a massive amount of time. The problem was that people were wasting it. They'd waste months on an obsession that didn't matter. They'd waste years doing work they hated. They'd waste their entire relationships being too distracted to actually be present. And then they'd wake up at 50 or 60 and realize, I've barely lived it all. And the kicker? Most of them didn't even realize it was happening. Seneca was writing to the wealthiest people in Rome, people with every advantage, every resource, every opportunity. And he was telling them, you have everything except one thing. You have no idea how to actually live. You're busy, but you're not alive. That's the warning he left for us. And nearly 2,000 years later, it's somehow even more relevant than when he wrote it. This is where Seneca's argument gets dangerous, because it challenges our entire victim narrative about time. We say, life is short. We say, there's not enough time. We say, if only I had more time, I'd do everything I wanted to do. It's a comforting story because it makes us victims. It's not our fault we didn't accomplish our dreams. Time ran out. It's not our fault we didn't travel or create or build relationships. We were too busy, too trapped, too constrained by time. But Seneca says, stop lying to yourself. That's not your problem. A human life is roughly 70 to 80 years. That's 25,000 to 30,000 days. That's hundreds of thousands of hours. If you work 8 hours a day, sleep 8 hours a day, you still have 8 hours left over, every single day. For 70 years. Is that not enough time? Is that short? No. Most of us could accomplish multiple lifetimes of real achievements, real relationships, real experiences with the time we have. But we don't. And we don't because we waste it. Seneca's argument is brutal because it puts the responsibility back on you. You can't blame life for being short. You can only blame yourself for being careless with it. Here's what he actually says in his book. I'm paraphrasing, but the message is clear. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Life is long enough, and a sufficiently generous amount has been given to us for the highest achievements if it were all invested in good projects. Translation: you have enough time. You're just spending it on the wrong things. Think about your own life. How many hours have you spent this year on things that don't matter to you? Not things you had to do for survival. I mean, things that genuinely don't align with what you want your life to be about. social media, pointless meetings, small talk with people you don't care about, worrying about things outside your control, watching other people's lives on screens, being busy with email and tasks that make zero difference. Add that up. Be honest, it's months, maybe it's years. That's not a time scarcity problem. That's a priorities problem. Seneca is saying, you need to stop blaming the universe for giving you a short life. You need to start taking responsibility for how you're spending your life. Because you have more time than you think. You're just using it poorly. Seneca identified 3 main categories of people who waste their lives. And I want you to listen to these because one of them might be you. The first type, the perpetually busy. These are people who are always doing something. They wake up rushed. They're in back-to-back meetings. They're reacting to emails. They're handling crises. They're never free, never relaxed, never able to think clearly. And they mistake this constant activity for productivity and purpose. Seneca's observation was sharp. They're busy, but they're not accomplishing anything real. They're like a person running on a treadmill, exhausted, sweating, going nowhere. Modern equivalent. People who have their phones buzzing constantly. People who brag about how busy they are. People who fill every moment with something. Work, social media, entertainment, anything to avoid being still for 5 minutes. They've convinced themselves that constant activity is the same as a life well lived. It's not. Seneca would say, stop confusing motion with direction. You're not busy because you have important things to do. You're busy because you haven't figured out what actually matters, so you're doing everything. The second type, the distracted pursuer. These are people who chase things, money, status, approval, the next goal. And as soon as they get what they're chasing, they immediately start chasing the next thing. They're never satisfied. They never stop to enjoy or appreciate what they have. Seneca watches this and says, look, you're never going to win this game. There's always another goal, another level, another achievement. If you make this the point of your life, pursuing and achieving and comparing yourself to others, you'll waste your entire life chasing a finish line that doesn't exist. Modern equivalent? People obsessed with career advancement. People comparing their lives to others on social media. People who think, once I achieve X, then I'll be happy. Then I'll relax. Then life will start. And then they achieve X and immediately move to Y. They're sprinting toward a destination they'll never reach. Seneca's observation. This is how people waste decades. They spend their whole lives on the hamster wheel, thinking that the next rung up the ladder is where life actually happens. But it never happens. The third type, the delegator. These are people who outsource their lives. They don't actually think about what they want. They do what they're supposed to do. They follow the script society gave them. They live according to other people's expectations and agendas. They go to school because they're supposed to. They get a job that their parents approve of. They buy the house and the car. They live the life that looks right from the outside. But they never ask themselves, is this actually my life? Is this what I actually want? Seneca's criticism is sharp. If you live in according to other people's expectations, you're not living, you're performing. And you're performing for an audience that doesn't actually care about you. Modern equivalent. Everyone on social media doing things primarily because it looks good. People staying in careers they hate because of what it implies. People in relationships that don't serve them because leaving would be messy. People deferring their actual lives endlessly because they're waiting for permission or the right moment or some external change. Now, you might see yourself in one of these categories. You might see yourself in all three. The point Seneca is making is this: most of us are wasting our lives in one of these ways. We're busy without direction. We're chasing goals that don't matter. Or we're living someone else's life. And the time we're wasting? It's not coming back. So what does Seneca say we should do instead? First, get clear on what actually matters to you. Not what should matter, not what's impressive. What actually matters to you. Do you want deep relationships? Then defend your time for them. Stop being too busy to actually be present with the people you love. Do you want to create something? Then stop waiting for the perfect moment. You have time. You're just spending it on other things. Do you want to grow and learn? Then stop being a spectator in your own life. Stop consuming endless content and actually create. Do you want freedom and peace? Then stop playing the status game. Stop needing to look successful and actually build something sustainable. Seneca's argument is that you need to be intentional, not vague, not hopeful. Actually intentional about how you spend your days. Second, stop the constant distraction. This is the big one for modern life. Seneca watched wealthy Romans, and the equivalent of their smartphones was gossip, theater, parties, and social drama. They were constantly distracted, constantly available to other people's agendas, never alone with their thoughts, never focused. He said, "How are you supposed to live a good life if you're never actually thinking? How are you supposed to know what you want if you're always listening to what other people want?" Modern translation: you need to protect your attention. You need time when you're not consuming, not performing, not reacting. You need time to think. That's not laziness. That's essential. That's how you figure out who you actually are and what you actually want. Third, do one thing. Do it well. Do it consistently. Seneca would say, stop trying to do everything. Stop trying to be everything. Pick something that matters to you and invest your life in it. Whether it's your work, your relationships, your creative pursuit, your growth, pick something real and commit to it. Not for a month. Not until you get bored. Actually commit. Most people spread their attention so thin across so many things that they never actually accomplish anything worth accomplishing. And then they reach the end of their life and realize they never actually did anything. Seneca's prescription is simple. Know what matters. Protect your attention. Commit to something real. Do that, and you're not wasting your life. You're actually living. I want you to do the time audit. Get a notebook. Look back at the last 7 days. Be brutally honest. Track how you spent your time. Don't estimate. Actually look at your phone, your calendar, your memory. Account for the hours. How many hours did you spend on work that matters to you? How many on work that feels like busy work? How many on actual relationships where you were fully present? How many scrolling through your phone? How many sleeping? How many on activities you genuinely enjoy? Add it up. Write it out. Get the actual numbers. Then, and this is the hard part, imagine Seneca looking at that breakdown. He's from 2,000 years ago. He doesn't know about smartphones or Netflix or email. He just knows about human nature and how to live a good life. What would he say about how you spent those 7 days? Would he say, you're living a good life, you're invested in things that matter? Or would he say, you're wasting it, you're busy, but you're not alive? Once you have that answer, you know what needs to change. And the beautiful part, you don't have to wait for next month or next year. You can start today. You can start this week. Take one thing from your time audit, one major time waster. Cut it out, just one, and redirect that time to something that actually matters to you. That's not going to change your life overnight. But doing that consistently, that's how you stop wasting your life and start actually living it. Seneca's warning is uncomfortable because it doesn't let us off the hook. It doesn't say, life is hard, you're doing the best you can. It says something harsher and more helpful. You're wasting your life, and you can stop whenever you want. We don't like to hear that because it means we're responsible. It means we can't blame circumstances or bad luck or being too busy. It means the gap between the life we're actually living and the life we want to live is a choice. And once you see that choice clearly, you can't unsee it. The people who change their lives aren't people who suddenly get more time. They're people who finally accept that they've been wasting time, and they decide to stop. They make hard choices about what matters. They say no to things. They commit to something real. And that's available to you right now. Seneca lived 2,000 years ago, and his words are more relevant today than ever. Because we have more distractions, more ways to stay busy, more ways to avoid actually living. And we need his harsh truth more than ever. Life isn't short. You're just wasting it. But you don't have to. The time you have left is still yours. The question is, what are you going to do with it?